We are back to continue our series on risk management awareness. Karibu sana, David.
Thank you so very much, Brenda. It's good to have you again.
Yes, yes. So, David, our viewers have asked a second question. What factors emanating from organizational culture that affects risk management?
Thank you once again, Brenda. And culture is very strong, and at times there are some things we can observe, and we are able to know which culture are you talking about, or which community is this, and we call them artifacts.
Yes.
And Brenda, I had some pictures here which I want to show you.
Okay.
And you outright to tell me where they are. This one, where is it from?
The Maasai community?
Good. What about this one?
Turkana?
Yes, from northern Kenya.
Okay.
Within Kenya. And what about this one?
When I see that, I'm thinking Egyptians.
Wow, that's
Yes.
marvelous. You see, when culture is very strong,
Yes.
maybe you have never been to Egypt, but once you see
Yes.
this appearance, you're able to know that is an Egyptian kind of a culture. And maybe the way they were able to live those days is a culture they were living. So culture is strong, and it is intertwined to so many factors within a community, within a country, within a company, and all that. So whenever you have, every time you have that kind of a culture, then you will have people being involved in it. And when you have people involved in it, of course, we'll have risks that will emanate from them.
Yes.
The question you're asking me is, what factors emanating from that organization culture that can have an impact to risk management?
Yes.
Brother, I would want to bring you to the first one. It is about risk perception.
Okay.
We have said there is attitude, there is behavior, there is culture. So, because culture is beliefs, knowledge, and understandings of a group of people,
Yes.
how is this individual perception to risk? I mean, are they risk averse? Do they find risk as something they need to run away from?
Yes.
Or do they need to embrace it and manage that risk? You know, that is risk perception. And risk perception at an individual level is affected by other factors.
Okay.
For example, trust versus lack of trust. If we are having somebody who is talking about managing risk, whom we trust, we will tend to believe that person.
Yes, true.
If the government is saying there's a kind of an outbreak, and they're going to say that they are going to give us a program to manage that kind of bad happening that is just about to happen, we believe them. Against maybe something on social media that has just come up. You know, do you trust versus that which you don't trust? It affects our risk perception.
Okay.
What about if it is imposed or it is voluntary? You know, if something is being imposed, you know, the perception of risk management towards that become negative. When it is voluntary, you want to manage your risks voluntarily. Yes. You know, with that one, you have a positive attitude towards or a perception towards that risk.
Yes.
What about when it is something we have been living with and something that has come new?
Yes.
You remember during COVID-19, people forgot other diseases. You know, cancer. Cancer was still rampant. Cancer was killing people. Cancer was is a very costly disease to treat. It was draining people financially. But when COVID-19 came in, we tended to forget about cancer and we concentrated on COVID-19 because it's new versus what we have been living with.
Yes.
Risk perception will also be, does it affect me? You know, when you perceive like something will affect you,
Yes.
the management, the risk management in that will be different when you just hear it from the news. When COVID-19 was in China, was first announced in China,
Yes.
you know, nobody bothered. I mean, how it left affect me. We never even used to follow what was happening. But when it came in here, then it was affecting us, and we took risk management for COVID as seriously. It is also about risk versus benefit.
Okay.
If somebody is doing risk for a benefit, going through a risk for a benefit, then it becomes like fun to them, or it is something that they want to embrace positively. These people who are skydiving, or the people who go down cliffs and they are all deep sea, and they are doing it maybe for a gain, a discovery, or, you know, the risk management in that area, they take it positively. So risk perception is very important in terms of factors that can affect risk management.
Okay.
Also, readership and the tone at the top. You know, when we have readers and they are not into risk management,
Yes.
we don't expect the juniors to be in risk management. You know, and the kind of readership style they are going to give
Yes.
will also affect the culture of that organization, and also the risk culture that is within that organization. There's a writer called Kurt Lewin who said there are three readership styles that can be there. One is autocratic,
Yes.
the other one is participatory or democratic,
Yes.
and the other one is a very difficult name called laissez-faire or something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
You know, authoritative or autocratic, it is where readership does not have to consult. I mean, it is top down. For example, during times of crisis, the management cannot sit to consult. The readership there requires that to give orders so that that risk can be contained. When we have a democratic one, it
Yes.
is where now the readers are involving the subordinates, and they're consultative, and they're working together, even though the reader will still have responsibility over what they're doing, like risk management.
Okay.
And the other one is the laissez-faire, where we are saying we tell the subordinate, now you can manage the risks, and we are not micromanaging it. Give a feedback on this, and then we can be able to weigh and then also support. So you find that leadership and the tone at the top really affects the risk management and the culture of risk management
Yes.
that is practiced there. Imagine if a kindergarten with little children, 3 years, 2 years,
Yes.
is managed like a military camp. That would be disastrous.
Yes.
Or a military camp managed like a kindergarten. Then we will lose track of
Yes,
everything that we are
yes,
doing.
yes.
So in terms of risk management and the culture that will emanate from that, will so much be affected by the culture and the type of leadership that is being executed in
Yes.
that kind of an environment. The other one will be communication. You know, communication in culture and risk management is very important.
Okay.
They are major contributors because we have the sender, we have the media that we are sending that
Yes.
communication, there is the receiver, and the receiver has to give the feedback.
Yes.
So in risk management, we need to have a culture of communication that is persuasive, communication that is not forced to people, so that communication of risk is able to be done within the parameters that, or maybe the communication policies that an organization can have. You can imagine if there's communication breakdown between a doctor and a nurse. And the doctor has
Could be disastrous.
instructed the nurse,
Yes.
go and give this kind of prescription or this drug to the patient. And then the nurse didn't get it clearly, and she
Yes.
goes and injects the wrong drug. You see, or even there's a breakdown in between.
Yes.
The doctor is giving a messenger mixes those and gives the nurse the wrong one. You see, so communication in terms of culture and risk management, they are intertwined and they work very together. So risk perception, leadership, and also communication are very important in terms of culture and risk management, a culture of risk management.
Thank you so much, David. That's it for now. For more of this content, like, subscribe, and comment. See you soon.